I have had thousands of meetings over the years, and I can say there is a consistent theme of something retirees wish they had done sooner. Hey everyone, I'm Andrew. I'm a CFA charter holder and a CFP professional. I've spent the last several years helping ultra high net worth and high net worth investors with their complex financial lives. I'm also the owner of Lever Wealth Management, which is the financial advisor for people who scare financial advisors. And what I do is I take the learnings from those situations and I give them to you so that you can hopefully apply them to your own situation. In most things in life, there's a distribution of decisions and outcomes. Meaning, if there's, this bell curve, if there are 100 people, I may have 3 people that feel very strongly one way, 3 people that feel very strongly the other way, and about 75 people in the middle who make substantially similar decisions. What I can say is I've met many people who wish they had retired early. In fact, I would go so far as to say it is probably the majority of retirees that I speak with. However, it is definitely not everyone. And there is a minority, and I would even say a significant minority of people that I've helped through retirement that did regret retiring too early. And I would, if I had to put numbers to it, I would maybe say 7 out of 10 people wish they had retired sooner. 3 out of 10 people felt they retired too soon. But what this video is not is saying that you should always retire as soon as you can, because that's not a nuanced enough view. At its best, you didn't go into enough detail, and at its worst, it's just bad advice. However, I have never found a retiree who regretted taking the actual time to dive deep into financial planning, in creating a fully functional financial plan. It's like what Dwight Eisenhower said: plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. It's not so much the 72-page PDF that you get that is important. It's the systematic framework for decisions that you then have for the future that is important. To parse this out a little bit more, what I'm saying is it's important that you're not just using some retail financial planning software, creating a Monte Carlo scenario one time 4 years ago, letting the subscription lapse, and then saying, I have a financial plan. That's not a financial plan. That's modeling one time. And by the way, tomorrow, all of the numbers that you put in are stale. What a fully functioning financial plan does is it takes all of the inputs that should matter to you. How much do we want to spend? What items are important to us in our life? Do we want to leave a legacy for the children? Are there philanthropic causes that are important to us? And yes, you get a probabilistic output. And yes, you do some scenario analysis and stress testing to see how it looks. But you're also creating a framework for how are we distributing the money? Are we utilizing the 4% rule and keeping it as simple as possible? Are we doing what Andrew talks about, cash flow immunization and liability driven management? Are we doing something like risk-based guardrails in retirement? And the more nuance that you can get with that, you're now creating a framework with which you make future decisions. In addition to that, on the investment side, you'll have an understanding around what type of risks are we willing to take in the portfolio, and then also how much risk do we even need to take to achieve our goals? When are we rebalancing? Why are we rebalancing? Where are we rebalancing? Are we locating assets in a specific manner? What defines where an asset should go? Are we tax loss harvesting? How often are we tax loss harvesting? Is it systematic in nature? All of these questions, and there's 1,000 more, all of these questions are important to answer, because whenever things pop up in life and in the markets that you do not anticipate, you do not want to be acting, operating, and making new decisions while in an emotional state. You want to have already created the framework for your decision making and say, we're sticking to the plan. Said a different way, if you are a DIY investor, fantastic, but you have to treat it like a business. Because if you don't, you will eventually make suboptimal decisions. We all do. And hopefully, through this process of creating this fully functioning plan, you even start to understand what are my own biases in this, and how do I create a risk management program to minimize my biases in future decision making. And not only having an understanding for myself, but typically one spouse is more involved in finances than the other. Does the spouse know and understand why we're doing what we're doing? Vitally important. I've never met a retiree, advisor or not, who has regretted putting the work in to actually create that framework for not only current decisions and financial modeling, but future decisions. I have yet to find one person that thought, wow, this was a waste of time. So my encouragement to you is put in the work. You will not regret it. Until next time, see y'all.